Okay, hey, it's ProZD plus pals with me, Sung One, and
And me, Alex.
And me, Anne Marie.
yeah, in order of most important to least important.
Well, at least I'm not
Ow!
last.
Don't hate me.
Uh-oh.
So
I'm Nakuman.
here's a segment we're bringing back, and we'll probably have it be recurring. Is Mario fan fiction? If you don't know, Alex and I. And Anne Marie too have our histories in Mario fan fiction back in the day when we were like 12 years old. And so in, I believe, episode 9, we read excerpts, or at least Alex and I did, of our previous fan fiction.
I don't have any. You're like acting like I was involved.
You read fan fiction.
But you're like, well, Alex and I. But yeah, I didn't have any.
I was about to ask if you'd actually written any.
No,
if
I just
did. You'd have to bring that shit to the table.
I know. No, I'm like hiding it from you guys. I'm like, oh shit, I better delete it all.
Are you
didn't
trying
write
to
any.
say that your history is not involved in Mario fan
No, it
fiction?
is. I just mean to say I didn't. I don't have any to bring. It's not like I'm like, oh, I didn't want to bring it.
You
did
could,
not say you did.
You could find some art and describe it
Ooh,
over
that'd be
the
funny.
podcast. That'd be cool.
Did you even do Mario fan art?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Man,
so.
what were you doing?
Nothing.
I was
She was
lurking.
You were just a leech.
contributing nothing to Mario fanfiction
Oh my
society.
gosh, Alex, I was reading all your fanfics.
Really?
Wow.
What was your favorite one?
Shut up.
We're getting
Anyway.
sidetracked. Oh, we need a name for this segment if we're gonna do it.
Oh,
recurring.
okay.
We need like an LJ, maybe fanfiction blast.
No, Mario.
Mario Fun Fiction was the Lemmy's Land name.
But I wasn't at Lemmy's Land.
Oh, you don't understand that reference.
Mario Memories. That's what we'll call it.
Mario Memories.
I feel like even beyond fanfiction, we could probably do even like other stuff with it.
I guess that's
Because we're such
true.
fucking Mario nerds.
Yeah, there's there's a treasure trove of that stuff to dig into.
Not that
if we
people give
wanted
a
to.
shit, but
Apparently they do. They like the fan fiction stuff. So
well, that's because it's funny and embarrassing.
yeah, but
Anyway.
is any of
What?
it
No,
not
it's so
funny and
good.
embarrassing?
Anyway, we'll start with mine. Continuing off, if you haven't, go listen to at least the beginning of episode 9. Oh, I'm sure you don't care about the context. Anyway, Legend of the Koten Bull. I was about 12, 11, pretty young. Anyway, the scene starts in Desert Land, and we'll switch off. I guess we'll just go in order.
You want me to start and then you and then Alex?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You're gonna have to correct me on these names.
Sure,
that we
yes,
made. Okay.
yes.
Try your best.
Colonel Regage
Mhm.
Koopa of the Eastern Army had reached an oasis in the middle of dry desert. Oh, continuity with the canon
Listen,
Mario
yeah.
universe.
Paper
So
Mario.
Desert Land, if you guys don't know, is from Mario 3, and Dry Desert is from Paper Mario. That's how much of a fucking nerd I was about this shit.
The sun shone down on the troops as they slowly marched toward the sparkling blue lake.
A Yoshi watched them above from a high rock. He slowly took out his mighty sword. It was the legendary Kaloshi.
Oh shit.
Kaloshi was a fierce warrior and a hero to many.
Wait, the sword?
Sorry?
Oh wait, this is the Yoshi.
Yes,
I
the
thought you were
Yoshi
talking
is
about the
Kaloshi.
sword.
No, and a hero to many. Why would you think that? He sharpened his sword on a small rock and then struck.
So he's got like a little rock. It's like, oh, as soon as I finish sharpening this sword, Kaloshi stabbed a Koopa in the chest.
Shit.
And then spun his sword around in a circular formation, killing 3 more. Not sure how that shakes out.
What? Okay, Koopas are coming in.
Okay.
He stabs him and then he like does like a little.
this scene for us.
So
he does a little loopy loop.
he does a loopy-loop, and
Okay.
it's like an anime.
Oh, like that scene in The Matrix Reloaded where like Agent Smith's around them and he like circles around them and they just
What? He just slashes his sword through them. It's like Link doing like a spin slash.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Then soldiers fired at Kaloshi with shell guns. If you remember from the last one, we described what shell guns are, and they're terrifying.
I don't actually remember what they are.
Kaloshi dodged them swiftly and killed 2 Koopas with 1 jab.
Now, how does that work? Did he like stab through one Koopa
Yeah,
into the
right.
Oh yeah,
other
like
one?
shish kebab.
You know, I'd feel a certain sense of camaraderie with the fellow victim if I were in that circumstance.
Like, hey, we went out together, buddy.
Yeah, give him a little hug.
Yeah.
Regage was also a well-trained warrior and took out his scythe. The scythe was made from the corpse of a chain chomp.
Oh no.
That's how you know it's badass.
Wait, did they melt down the chain chomp metal?
I really need to know like how
He-
this was made.
He killed a chain chomp
Okay.
and made it into a scythe.
Did he carve a scythe out of the
Yeah.
chain?
Regage didn't fuck around.
Like a sculpture.
Yeah.
He slashed at Kaloshi. Kaloshi stepped to the left and stabbed at Regage. I keep wanting to say Rajog. That's not like it.
It's Regage!
Regage, but missed and killed a Koopa behind him. Just a random
Koopa.
bystander.
Oh no! These Koopas are just like, oh! Behind the rock where Kaloshi had stood, Lieutenant Daniel Toad watched.
So you have Regage and Kaloshi
And
Daniel.
He waited for the signal from his master to attack. Kaloshi slashed Regage's shoulder. Regage lunged toward Kaloshi and stabbed Kaloshi in the chest.
Kaloshi had no time to give the signal. He fell onto the sands. Daniel, shocked with grief, ran from the scene. Sir, a toad has been spotted fleeing from us. Should we go after him? One of the Koopas asked.
Regage shook his head. Let him go. Without a master, he is nothing. Now let us drink. The troops cheered and sipped the cool water from the lake. Not even like booze.
I thought you were gonna have like some
I thought
alcohol.
it was gonna be like a
No,
kanpai
just some
thing.
water.
Nope.
They're just drinking
Oh, no,
water.
no.
I don't know what that is yet.
No, drinking for leaders.
So that was an excerpt from Legend of the Koten Bull.
Okay, so I use the Gmail app on my phone, and at the bottom it gives me options that I can respond.
Okay.
So I can write, got it, thanks. I can write.
Wait, it gives you default responses?
I can write, I don't see anything, or very nice. I think I'm gonna say I don't see anything and pretend I didn't read this.
No,
Oh,
come
man,
on.
that'll
I'm
get 'em.
just joking.
That'll get 'em.
Come on, say at least got it.
I'll
thanks.
say very nice.
Thank
See,
you.
look, it
Why don't I have
generates
any
a little
options like
response.
So wait,
Yeah.
it sends it to me? I'm gonna get
It
an email.
generates the option, and then I can send it.
So I'm gonna get an email that says
Yeah.
very nice.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna send a funny, silly email to my friend.
It's on the
Why don't I get
Gmail
to?
app. If anybody wants these fun responses,
Oh.
anyway.
Okay,
so
so-
a recurring theme in mine is violence.
So
Yes.
can you remind me what a shell gun is?
Shell gun, it shoots like a little shell thing, and explodes.
Yeah, very,
Jesus.
very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of stuff.
Were you like okay?
I just thought it was cool, you know.
There's a
Me,
lot of killing
and then we're gonna
violence.
go totally the 180 degrees
there's
to
a-
Alex's.
There's a
fanfiction.
recurring theme between our stories where you'll notice they tend to take on a very different tone from each other. I guess we can just start reading mine. And
What's the title of
the
it?
title of this one is Mario and Luigi's Great Coffee Adventure.
How old were you when you wrote this? About the same age?
About the same age.
Okay.
This was in
These all happen pretty
2004.
So
close
this
to
shows
each
you
other.
just how different we were.
So like
as
13
children.
years old. Also, I did not drink coffee or understand coffee back then, so I don't know how I knew so much about coffee. I guess that would be
Cartoons,
reflected.
probably.
Yeah, cartoons talk about coffee.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just start reading this and see how far we get until we're sick of it.
Are we gonna read your disclaimer at the top?
let's skip that.
Forget
Okay.
that. There's some stuff at the top that I was being silly, but we're just gonna jump right into Mario and Luigi's Great Coffee
Sam,
Adventure.
where you can be our narrator.
Yeah, I'll be Luigi. You can
I'll
be
be
Mario.
Mario.
Oh, perfect.
There's a couple others. We'll just
We'll
fill them out
toss
as we
them
feel.
to people. Yeah.
Okay. Hang on, let me get a little.
I gotta
Oh,
prepare
very
for this
important.
for this
I'll
epic
take some too,
masterpiece.
actually.
Oh, maybe I'll take a little sip.
It's because I'm
before
gonna
I'll-
be doing some yelling.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's gonna be some yelling. I
Yeah,
can
there's
see.
a lot of caps in here
This
already.
is just building anticipation. It's called good podcasting.
Yeah.
Hit me up if you want some lessons on how to.
Alex's hot tips for podcast. Drink
Tip-
water.
Alex's hot tips.
Tip
Anyway,
number 1:
tease 'em.
don't have a year break between episodes. All right.
Mario and Luigi's Great Coffee Adventure. One fine day in the Mushroom Kingdom, the Mario brothers were eating their breakfast. Mario was looking forward to his coffee and cheese,
That's a
my
bad-
favorite
that's
not-
That's
combination.
a
Not
bad
good
combination.
But when Luigi opened the cabinet, he was shocked to find they were out of coffee.
Sorry, Mario. We're out of coffee.
What? What? No! We can't be out of coffee. I need coffee to get to sleep.
Well, sorry, but the one and only store, is closed today.
I need coffee.
Well, Mario, we don't have any coffee. Get over it.
I need some coffee.
We don't have any coffee.
I wonder if it's true that the sun is made of coffee.
Dot, dot, dot.
Ooh, that's pretty random.
Yeah, the ellipses are pretty common in these.
Suddenly, a knock was heard on the door. Luigi opened it, and Toad came in all torn
Oh
up.
shit.
You want to be Loud Toad?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Huh? What's wrong with you?
Mario put a fucking
He doesn't say fucking.
It's,
It's
I
like
sh-
symbols.
It's special characters, but
Mario put a bear in my living room.
But
No, yeah. No, you can keep them. You
okay.
keep 'em.
But Spudgy needed a place. Spudgy needed a place to sleep. You can take Toad. We'll switch if it's whoever
Yeah,
is right before Toad.
I guess.
Yeah.
Why did you have a big bear? I don't want to get in trouble.
I found him. He was so cute.
You found a bear? How odd.
Coffee.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're out of coffee.
Why don't you go to Starbucks? They're everywhere. You can go to the one built behind that bush in your
That's
backyard.
a little joke about how Starbucks are. That's funny. Good idea, Toad.
Nice.
Let's go, Mario.
But I can't find my super socks.
I'm not even going to ask. Let's just go.
Luigi dragged Mario out the door and behind the bush. As they went inside Starbucks, oh, there actually was one behind the bush.
Yeah.
Toad was not joking. They could smell coffee and cream.
I smell onion pie.
Emery, you can be the mushroom.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks.
Luigi.
Oh, Luigi looked at his name tag. I thought it was like Luigi,
No.
like script.
Okay, Charlie, we'd like some coffee.
Mario looked at his name tag as well.
Yeah, Ivana, give us some coffee.
What, Ivana? My name is Charlie. The name tag says so.
Oh, sorry, Ivana.
Sigh. Okay. Say Char.
Char.
Say Lee. What is going on?
Say. She's trying to teach him how to say the
Spelling
name.
out the name.
Say
Oh,
okay.
Char.
Yeah.
Say Lee.
Say Lee.
Why are you saying it like that?
That's the voice that I'm doing.
Say Lee.
Now put it
Lee.
together.
Ivana.
Sigh. Whatever. What kind would you like?
What kinds do you have?
We have Mocha Joca, Java Mocha, Lava Java, Mocha Lava, Nut Cream, ew,
Ooh, that's disgusting.
Cream Nut, Sugar Nut, Pine Mocha, Mocha Cream, Java Nut.
We'll take them all.
I made like a little face.
Little
here.
0.0
That's an
semicolon.
uncommon one. That's a rare beast.
That'll be 49,164 coins.
Wait, but we...
Mario gives Charlie all their money and their coffee table to get it.
Coffee time.
Mario ran home with all the coffee and searched for a table to set it on.
Where is our coffee table?
Well, you sold it.
But I need a coffee table to drink coffee.
Well, we can trade in something else for our table back.
I know just the thing.
Later, ...
You traded in my bed for a brand new coffee table?
Pretty smart, eh?
Well, at least we have coffee. Let's drink and I'll worry about my bed later.
Mario and Luigi sat down to drink their coffee, but when Mario took a sip,
Ew, I hate coffee.
Mario threw away all the coffee they bought and started polishing his feet.
Dead face. I have an X.X emotes.
The end.
And
Oh,
scene.
Mario, you silly random bastard.
So yeah, clearly some differences there.
Yeah, so what'd you
I
think? It was
they
really
were
good,
exactly
right?
the same in tone.
So Emery, any thoughts on
Any critiques?
on our?
So I will say that the kind of stories like we just read, like Alex's, were pretty much like that was kind of the common
That
tone
was-
on Lemmy'sLand.com.
Yeah, that was pretty run-of-the-mill.
Did you
Meanwhile,
guys like my voice for the coffee person?
No.
meanwhile, I was from Nintendo Writer, and we were like,
They were elitists.
we weren't elitist, but it was like, oh yes, pros and and serious.
There was some of that on
And
Lemmy's
shish
Land
kebabbing
as
two
well.
Koopas on a sword.
Yeah, that's, man.
Lemmy
just
wouldn't have allowed
imagining
that.
I don't know. He had some pretty hardcore. He was more about like specific things like swear words. Like you couldn't say crap or
What?
Oh
What
yeah,
was-
he, I remember he was very, very.
yeah. Oh, you couldn't say this sucks. He would replace it with
This
this
stinks.
So that's a little peek into our histories of writing Mario fanfiction. I didn't start any kind of timer. for
I
this.
started a timer. Don't
Okay,
worry.
good.
And a little late, but it's fine. Anyway, let's head into our topics. What the hell are you doing?
I hope
just
you all
hit
enjoyed.
my
What are
elbow.
we calling this?
Mario
Memories.
memories.
We'll bring it back, right?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna do an intro. Mario memories. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Can you save that clip?
I might, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because I was listening to the other one and
Mario memories. Oh.
woohoo! Because I was listening to the LJ Blast thing. Would you remember that one?
Yeah, that actually turned out like
I don't
really
remember.
well
LJ
done.
Blast.
We said that like
So
somehow,
did you save the clip?
I might put it in for each
somehow
one.
like we said that exactly in sync. Which
That's
was,
because we've known each other for
I
way
guess,
too long.
yeah.
It's frustrating how we just know like what to do.
Oh my gosh, what were you guys doing the other day? And I just
You have
like
to be more specific.
you were like, oh yeah, I think you were singing the Harry Potter theme, but you were just
Okay, wait. I got it. Okay. So Sungwon started singing the Harry Potter theme, and he had a little twist to it where he goes. So
For no reason.
that's like standard run of the
So
mill.
they're
Like
like they're sitting at the table. I
Because
had
because
like
we were just playing Pandemic Legacy. We
I
were
had
just
been in the
dicking
restroom and then I came down and laid down on our couch because I was tired, and they were like sitting at the table, and so they started doing this,
Yeah.
and like, how did it progress?
around.
But then like I like kind of joined in.
You
and
just like picked it up.
Yeah, and
immediately.
they were like, wow.
I see what's happening.
And I was
here.
like, Anne-Marie, just think about the fact that without hesitating, you didn't ask like, hey, why are you... Because I think it escalated to just like...
guys were like screaming.
But it was like the half scream.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, not like
sister
actual
sleeping in the
scream, but
other
like,
room.
you know, the fake... And Anne-Marie just, no question, just joined in as if it were some...
It's not weird.
As if that's something you do, you know, with your
And
friends.
then I was like, oh, I thought like that was like from another thing you guys did. And you were like, no, we were just
No.
doing
You
that.
just
I was
did
like,
that
well,
now.
it sounds like something.
And you just accepted it, no question.
I wonder what percentage of our listeners are in the category of like, what the fuck is wrong with these people versus, oh my god, we do that shit too.
I know, people must do that all the time. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
if
no,
you know, if you're friends with someone long enough, you just fucking...
I think this kind of shit is like surprisingly relatable.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we're fucking weirdos, but it's like, I think close enough friends just start making noise sometimes and just understand each other.
Oh, I
But
don't
it
know,
was just so funny when you were like, you both were like, wow, we like how you just joined in, no questions asked. And I was
Right.
like, well, it seems like
There
something
was
you guys
no-
would be doing.
There's no process of teaching.
Yeah,
There was
no, she just like it's not like we even like prompted her to do it. We just did.
I just joined
She
in.
just started doing it. I don't think we were even doing. I think you just started doing it on your own or something like that. And I was like,
I think it was like when you guys were doing it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So this is what happens when you max out your social links.
Yeah. We're all at like a 10 out of 10 friendship level.
because then we were like, man, John Williams did a really good job on that song, except for that one little part. Like, why?
Hey, John, this is definitely going to be a masterpiece, but like, why are you doing fake screams for like 2 of the notes?
We had like a whole thing where he does it in all of
99%.
his songs.
Right, Steven Spielberg's like, John Williams, great stuff, but the part where every time you watch a John Williams scored movie, you're just like, oh wait, here's the scream part.
That's how you know.
Like
that
in
it's
Jurassic
That's
Park.
like his signature thing. But in the
Yeah.
theater, it's like blaringly loud. Like it's
Da-na-na.
horrible to listen to.
Na, na, na.
And then, no, it's only once in the song.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just is normal.
Okay, was that the one in the movie? Or we
All
good
right,
now?
that's that famous John Williams
Everyone,
scream.
if you know John Williams scored a movie, you're like kind of you're anxious like during the first part because you're like, I
People
know at
listening
some
to this
point.
are just like, what the hell?
I think it makes perfect sense.
I think we've lost
We
a couple
led
of
into it
listeners
pretty
at
well.
this point. I don't care.
That's fine. If you're gone,
If
screw
you're
ya.
still here, you're a true fan.
If
If
we're-
you're
if
not,
want me to get more.
if you're not down for this kind of content, this is the wrong
If
podcast
we're
for you.
if we're gonna be doing this podcast with just us, you're gonna have to get used to us riffing stupidly and also just screaming sometimes. You know
Yeah.
how we be.
So anyway, back to the topic.
As long
at
as the
hand.
focus group's like that, then we'll see about changing.
Anyway,
We'll calm down a little bit. We won't be so rowdy.
shut up. It's serious times.
What's on the
now.
itinerary?
What's on the schedule?
What is the worst creative struggle you faced in your career,
Ooh.
and how did you overcome it?
This sounds like it was mostly for you.
That can be for all of us, though. It doesn't be
We're all
about your
creative.
career. Creative struggle.
Well, for me right now, I work a full-time job. I went to school for art and illustration, and I really like doing art. And right now I have a full-time job. When I was like part-time or like not working all the time, I actually did, commissions and like freelance stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was nice. But now that I've been working full-time for so long, I like a job that's kind of mostly unrelated, except for I do like graphic design.
Sure.
But I don't really do illustration. So right now it's really hard to kind of like be like, what do I want to paint or draw? So for me, it's like right now.
Are you just on Twitter right now? What the hell are you doing? Pay attention to what she's
I'm
saying.
listening.
What did she say?
Damn, what an asshole.
She said, "This is a fun podcast to do, and you're my best friends."
So yeah, I would just say right now, pretty much, just
Okay.
because I'm in a place where I'm like doing full-time work, and I still draw sometimes and like in sketchbooks and stuff, but I haven't like produced like a finished piece in a really long time, which is kind of what I miss doing.
So, how do you feel like you're gonna overcome it? Since I assume you haven't really, or how would you like to maybe try?
I feel like it needs to be like work almost.
What do you mean? Oh, like treat it like a job?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't have
Yeah.
like the time or energy.
It's really
On the
hard to,
weekends,
like-
I'm able to more, but
It's really hard to focus on creative stuff on top of a full-time job.
How about you, Alex? What's your worst creative struggle you faced?
I mean, probably the biggest one is just the lack of focus because there's so many different things I like to do, and I have a knack for so many different things, and I love like art and voices and singing and programming, and I love all these different things. So my biggest struggle has always just been finding like something to work on that I wanted to commit to and like really kind of focus on. But I think I don't know. I'm starting to feel less guilty about like trying out different projects because I've kind of looked back on the different things that have started and stopped, and I feel like a lot of them like kind of have a reason that I didn't really want to stick with them. So I think it's just a matter of like finding that one thing that I want to stick to and work on and focus on. But I definitely have like I have a knack for programming. I think more than like I went to school for programming, and I really love like game dev and stuff. So for the moment, I'm planning to like mostly focus on that. But we'll see. I also have the same struggle Anne Marie had, where like anytime I try to have like a big long term project, it's always I can only ever do it at the end of a long day when I'm tired and I have like a few hours to work on it, really. So that's also been a big struggle. But
well, you know, the thing is, like, if you work like a standard like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 in my case.
I mean, people do it. There is some measure that you have to like stick it through. But
it is about
still,
discipline. But I remember we were having kind of a deep conversation a little while ago, Alex, about this exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I was saying to you that because you were saying, oh, there's a lot of different things I'm interested in. Because you were like, oh, I might be interested in like doing like voice acting or something. But then I was like, you know, you should focus on the thing that you love the most.
Yeah.
Like the thing that brings you, because with voice acting, it's so, there's a lot of like work and almost no reward a lot of times. And if you don't like love just doing it, you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
But with, you were telling me like programming, you like loved, you just found yourself lost in it, you know, like enjoying it.
I've been kind of searching for that too, and like, because lately I've been trying to, since there's like an LA move coming up, like that's public knowledge for you guys.
Yeah,
like,
is it for you?
It
is now.
I mentioned it on my. I got a curious cat, and I actually mentioned on there that I am also making the move. But I guess this is the official announcement that I am also making the move.
We're all intending to move over the summer.
And I was thinking of like getting more into voice acting since I was going to be down there. But like since I was doing some auditions and like really trying to like shift focus to it, I'm feeling like there's a difference between like the game dev and the voice acting. So yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a fire that I feel for coding that I don't feel right, at least right now, for the voice acting. And it might. There's also like a big skill difference as far as like what I'm practiced in and what I'm not. So.
And I was saying to you that if you don't love, if voiceover is not like the thing you love the most, it's like your number one dream.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real tough because the other
people
you're competing against, including myself, all want that real
That's
bad.
the tough part about not having like one specific focus. Is it's like anything that you try to get into, there's people who have dedicated everything to it.
Yep.
So.
Well,
it's tough.
Yeah, you can't take that shit lightly. For me, my creative struggle was back in like 2012. I felt like I was in a rut. I felt like I wasn't improving because I wanted to do voiceover. I wasn't improving. I wasn't getting anywhere. I had just graduated from college and I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And so I started a voice acting Tumblr. Man, that was
forever ago.
That was like 6 years ago.
Couple years.
It is 2018.
Do you guys even remember when I like first started doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made ProZD Voices the Tumblr.
Right, which still
It
exists.
is so beloved nowadays, which is so bizarre.
Yeah. That's how I got my start on everything. I decided to do one voice acting post every day, and I stuck with that for years. And the first couple of years, you know, very small audience. I didn't get my big audience until maybe like 2014, 2015-ish, and then last year was when it was like the big jump or whatever. But honestly, that helped me in terms of improvement, making yourself do it every day. And there were many days where I was like, I don't want to fucking do this. Like, I'm not in the mood. Like, I'm too tired or I'm too discouraged. but I did it every day, and the sort of change in like that amount of time was kind of astronomical compared to like what I was doing before. Because before it was like I would just kind of do little YouTube videos every now and then, and I would just kind of do them, not like dedicate all my time to it. So for me, there was a definite. It was all about discipline for me. Was making like I have to have at least one thing out today, get it done, and then yeah.
But were you working full time?
Not full time, but I was working.
I'm not saying you were working. I'm just wondering, like,
yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
how much time you had to dedicate to it.
Honestly, I didn't struggle so much with time as I did motivation, because there were plenty of times, and Marie can attest to this, where I'd be like, man, I feel like this shit isn't going anywhere, or man, like I really don't feel like anything's gonna come from this.
See, that's not really my struggle. Mine is like more like after I work all day, I come home. I do like I do stuff when I come home that like I cook, or I like do chores or stuff, or I like. Or I have to go run the errands or stuff, because during the day I like can't do any of that stuff because I'm at an office.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like after I do all that, I like need to just, or me and you like watch something, or like I want to just like not really be like working when I'm not at work.
But that's still a motivation thing, though. It's still.
Now, I'm not worried about it not going anywhere, though.
Well, that wasn't the only thing that was like discouraging me, because it wasn't like I was just doing it. Well, no, I guess the goal was to eventually go somewhere with it, but it really did feel like it felt like a completely impossible goal.
Yeah.
Like I'll never be able to get to that point where I'm doing it as a job.
Wasn't when you started doing like the goofy stuff that it really started hitting an audience? Like, what was the first spark, I guess?
The first spark, that was definitely a big jump. I gathered a pretty good audience before then, though.
Oh, but it had to be some of the goofy stuff, because I would see that stuff on Facebook.
But like you were kind of accumulating people more slowly with your normal stuff, right?
What would happen was I did a lot of like Ace Attorney shit. I did a lot of like Lackadaisy webcomic.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
I know Tracy Butler was a big fan of
your
dubs of her.
And
work.
that was really good practice. And so I did a lot of that, and that got a pretty good audience. Honestly, that led to, and then I did Goofy, and that was a pretty big jump. But if I had not had that audience before, no one would have seen that. Or listened, listen to that post.
It's a base level exposure you need.
Right.
Even if you make something as brilliant and genius as
Goofy
singing
Evanescence.
popular music.
I think the first one was Let It Go.
But I think the Bring Me to Life.
But Let It Go was.
Is Bring Me to Life your most popular video?
No, now it's Ready Player One.
Oh.
But
oh god.
Well, that's too bad that it was over. That the crown was.
I'd rather it be this, actually, but.
What? No, you gotta have.
I do not want that to be okay.
I know she's seen it.
Yes, I know. I do know that the singer of Evanescence has seen that and is very confused by it.
Doesn't appreciate art.
So I had a meeting with my YouTube manager this week.
Okay.
Which is like a new thing, and so we were looking at what people are searching to find me, like new people.
Oh Lord.
And one of the results was ProZD Goofy. Still.
Yeah, it is.
It's your legacy.
I mean, there were other
You'll
stuff.
carry that with you.
There was other stuff like ProZD Vine, ProZD Take On Me.
It's always interesting when we used to go to conventions what people would recognize you as. Like sometimes you were the guy from Tumblr, sometimes you were Positive Voices, sometimes you were the Vine guy.
Well, before Vine, like not that many people would recognize you because there wasn't like
right.
face.
Yeah, I guess that put your face on
people.
You would like post a photo and be like, "Oh, I'm going to this convention."
Yeah, but after Vine, so Vine was the next big. I guess we're just going through my history, but Vine was the big.
Well, you have like
jump.
the more of a career.
I guess you have the biggest story for
the
creative
For me,
career.
it's been a lot of just like starting and stopping projects, and I guess
right.
you don't have like a big thing to your name, Anne-Marie, currently.
Yeah, I just shit post on Twitter.
Yeah.
So tell us about your shit posting history. What's your shittiest post?
Probably Fuck, Marry, Kill with the 3 Caballeros.
Oh, that one
was the worst post I ever made in my life.
So yeah, Vine was a big jump, and then that led eventually to YouTube. Everything's kind of led to another thing, but that was because I was just creating shit the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think it stemmed from that sort of discipline of just fucking do it, even though some days you don't want to do it. That's the best advice I can give to anyone in this day and age, is just create, even though you don't necessarily want to. Because I often find, even if I'm not in the mood to do it, once I start doing it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I actually do
Yeah,
enjoy doing
no, that
this.
is
Yeah.
true.
So it really has to, you have to do a lot of
I
just-
guess I can say, like, if game dev is your thing, like, I can give some advice on that. Just, like, scale really small and do game jams. Like, that helps a lot. Because finishing games is, like, really hard. I have only done it in game jams because I always, like, scope way too big. Like, the last big game I tried to make, I spent, like, a year doing. It was just too big for my current skill at the time. So, like, I cannot overstate how small you should make your games if you don't quite know what you're doing.
Right.
And that's something I'm still like kind of struggling with, but I've kind of landed on a project right now that seems to be within my grasp. So that's yeah, it's tough.
For art, I guess I would say if you're struggling like I currently am, kind of think to yourself, like, even like the shittiest sketch in your sketchbook is better than not doing anything.
Exactly.
Which I saw somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now I have a sketchbook that just sits on our coffee table, and if I'm like just sitting out there, I'll like pick it up and like, even if it's like nothing, I'm like, okay, I did something. So I do try to do that, like, you know, pretty much daily. I like have at least a little bit of a doodle.
I've
in
also
there.
like I fought a lot too with my own projects, like having the issue where I'm tired and it's a long day and I know I should be working on something, but for some reason like the fire's just not there. If you just like find a small thing you can do,
Yeah.
it'll get you sucked in. Like I've heard it described on like, I forget where I was listening to it, but there was some other creative, like a podcast or something. They were describing how like just the act of forcing yourself to start working on your thing, like you suddenly remember how much you love doing it.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that like if I don't want to work on my code or anything, like I will just find a bug that's been happening with the camera and just say, well, I know why that's going wrong, so I'll just start fixing that, and then it'll just like jump from little thing to little thing, and then I'll just be like in it.
I think if you work a lot and you just find yourself, not motivated or like tired, which I think is what me and Alex really struggle with, is kind of just, if you can, like I said, like have a sketchbook or something small that you can just
force
pick up
yourself
and
to
kind
do
of like
a manageable
do it.
chunk.
Yeah,
Just
just
get
like-
Manageable is important.
Just-
yeah.
Get
yeah,
your
make sure-
drawing hand drawing. Get your coding fingers tapping.
and
Get your voice
chords
acting.
neck noising.
like, even if, like I said, even if it's like the smallest thing, like it's better than not
Yeah.
doing anything if you really want to like do this thing. So
Yeah, there's no guarantee of success, but for me, if I hadn't started that, I really don't know what I'd be doing right now. And I've gotten to do some pretty cool shit that I never would have dreamed of, and it was because.
no, you haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yours is really lame and dumb.
Yeah, but no. So that's my advice I give anybody. Now I pulled up what people are searching
Oh God.
Oh, God.
to find me. This is in the last 3 months.
What's your
And,
current
and
jam?
actually, not that many people find me through search. Usually, it's through like Twitter or
Yeah, I think people will see you.
Twitter, Reddit, whatever. Actually, now I guess we can just look at this. How are viewers finding my videos? Suggested apparently a lot. Like, how it shows like a suggested video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube's been very kind to you as far as like.
yeah.
I mean, you've made front page like how many times? It's absurd.
Don't you know it's because he purchases bots?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, give me that money.
The
As
conspiracy
the
theories
neckbeards on
are.
Reddit would
God,
claim.
the conspiracy theories are outrageous.
Yeah. Anyway, so people, if they are searching in the last 3 months, ProZD is obviously the number 1. Goofy Wake Me Up is number 2.
Yeah.
Always.
Take on Me,
Oh.
which I for some
I'm
reason
surprised at like that one.
that video just took off.
I
That
guess.
was a big video, and that gave me my first.
That's another thing. Like you never know.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
know
you
that.
don't know what of yours
Because if
is.
the like one of the big benefits of like what Sungwon did, just forcing himself to make something every day, is even if you because I was doing like daily drawings for a while, like even if one thing that you spend a lot of time on, like if it doesn't take off or whatever, if people don't notice it, if you're making a ton of stuff, then like eventually something is going to get more noticed than other things. Like you never know when
You just
the
have to
right
keep
person
at
is going to
it.
stumble on your thing and like share it with
The
a
more
bunch
you
of
make,
people.
the better, and
Yeah.
also then there's a whole back catalog. People are finding old videos I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Tons of shit.
So what else are people
ProZD Vine, ProZD Pokemon, Bring Me to Life Goofy, Harry Potter and the Portrait of what looked like a large pile of ash,
You did one of those.
Ready Player One, Wake Me Up Goofy, and ProZD Pokemon Crystal, which is a playthrough I did
Wow.
on Twitch.
Didn't you do like one?
I did
of those?
like a couple, but apparently just one guy was like,
Please continue it. I need to watch it.
So anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
3 of those were Goofy, Wake Me Up.
Yep.
Perfect.
So
But actually, searches only make up like 3% of how people find me. Mostly it's either suggested or external sources.
That's interesting.
yeah,
It's pretty normal for what I do.
I mean, that's just
I think
okay.
your
It's
videos.
not interesting.
Yeah.
It's really boring.
I think your videos are the type people tend to
I think
stumble
people-
upon when
Yeah.
looking at random stuff.
Or I think that's usually what it is. Okay.
Cool.
That was creative
A
talk.
brief history of ProZD plus creative tips from people who are not as successful.
Yeah.
That's what I pick.
From ProZD and his 2 unsuccessful
losers.
friends.
That's how I categorize all people I meet. Is
ProZD and the losers.
more successful than me or less successful than me. But everyone's less successful.
I put myself at the top,
I'm the top. So there's only one group of
and
person.
you're actually at the bottom.
More important question. What's the best chip?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's broad.
The best chip
What's
for
the
me,
chip?
easy answer for me, is Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. That is my
Solid.
absolute favorite.
That's
Solid.
actually probably my. Oh, actually.
Thanks for stealing my chip. That's a chip I have loved since childhood. One of my earliest times I remember eating it was in my grandma's apartment, which was a very pure time for me, very nostalgic. 'Cause
nostalgia.
I loved my grandparents.
That'd be so
And you love those chips.
and those chips and they're still so
My favorite
good.
chip is actually gonna be the Utz sour cream and onion ruffles.
Ripples.
Ripples.
They're
What-
not Ruffles.
What are they?
Ripple chips.
What's the difference between a ruffle?
Ruffles is a brand.
Whatever.
You call them Ripple chips.
Okay.
Listen, I'm a chip aficionado. All right.
Okay, so the Utz has to be Utz, sour cream and onion.
It has to be onion, and the cream has to be sour.
Ripple
chips.
Ripple chips.
Yeah, you don't
Ripple
know.
chips,
Are you
not
gonna-
ruffle. I would call them all ruffles.
They're not Ruffles.
All chips is ruffles.
I think.
No,
I
chips
think.
is ruffles.
I think. Angus Utz would be very upset if you called his chips Ruffles because they are not Ruffles. They are Ripple chips.
Don't make him come down to this apartment and kick down the door and
Don't you
strangle
like
you.
those Utz chips?
That's like number 2.
That's a regional variety, right? That's mostly
yeah,
like
that's
Coast.
you can't get
Yeah.
them where we live.
East Coast beast.
That's a chip.
Coast.
That's like it's like a kind of like a sweet savory. Almost.
Yeah, it's good.
So good.
Yeah,
That's
I think I only really had one bag when we went down there.
you didn't
'cause I'd
even
heard-
have them. I think
No, I got some.
not the sour cream and onion one. You
No,
got.
it wasn't that kind, but I got some Utz. I forget which kind
Utz
it was.
is the best brand of chip.
I like Utz, but I don't know if I'd say it's the best
Don't
brand of
ever
chip.
talk
I
to
don't-
me ever
We can
again
get into that
in
after.
your
Anyway.
life.
Next
The only
next
chip
topic.
that is like thoroughly enamored me, and I do like a lot of chips, but the one that I got really obsessed with for a while was the Meyer brand kettle chips, sea salt and vinegar.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about that flavor, but I just the combination of the flavor and texture is just like perfectly addicting for me.
Meyer's a grocery chain in like
The
yeah.
Midwest, yeah.
Midwest.
We had them in Kentucky, so yeah, that's still Midwest.
Midwestish,
Yeah. But those chips, man, sea salt and vinegar. Like
I'm not a big sea salt and vinegar
that's a
guy.
brand I pretty recently started eating at all. Like I never used to have it as a kid or anything.
The flavor, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I don't know, they just won me over.
I really like most kettle chips.
Yeah, kettle chips are really
But
fucking good.
Yeah, it's a good
Jimmy
texture.
John's jalapeno kettle chips are so delicious.
For me, it doesn't have to be Jimmy John's, but jalapeno.
Well,
kettle
I never
chips.
had another one.
For me, like the best kettle chips are jalapeno kettle chips and sweet onion kettle chips.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet
Like
onion's a good
Hawaiian
flavor.
onion. Oof.
But a kettle chip is like the perfect. Like Panera kettle chips are good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Any kettle
Probably
chip.
the best thing you can
Yeah.
get at Panera because Panera sucks.
I'm also loving this Lay's Do Us a Flavor shit that they're doing every year. Like they
Oh
come out
yeah,
with some
yeah.
really
That's all.
cool stuff.
And I always get every.
I know.
bag.
If we go to the store, he's like,
and like half the
gotta
flavors,
see if the new
half the flavors suck, and I still
Yeah.
have to eat them all.
Oh, there was one they had. What was they had a Chinese food one.
Yeah,
what-
I forget what it was.
I don't remember specifically, but it was based on
I guess we could use our
we could
phones.
Google it, I
We
guess.
could use our technology.
What were some of the other good ones?
There was
that they had?
biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy is really good. That one stuck because there's like a winner every time.
Chinese
every year.
Szechuan chicken.
Yeah, that one was real good.
Speaking of Szechuan,
I was
the
gonna say
Szechuan
the Szechuan sauce at
McDonald's
McDonald's sucks.
Oh, is it?
It's-
I didn't try it.
It tastes like
'cause-
nasty teriyaki.
Okay.
Yeah, imagine like I don't know, like General Tso's chicken.
Yeah.
And I just took a whole bottle of soy sauce and poured it all
Oh,
over it.
Boy, that was a joke that really went off the rails.
Yeah, remember that kid who was like, "I want my Szechuan sauce." Like he jumped on the counter.
He was doing that for attention.
I know,
Like, that was
but
totally.
yeah, it doesn't matter if he did it for attention. It's so fucking obnoxious. Okay, so best chip. That's fair.
I like Doritos.
I like Doritos.
I like Doritos, but they're not
like,
my favorite.
Yeah.
But I do like sweet chili ones a lot. For me, man, I wish our friend Sarah was on this episode because she.
I don't, 'cause she has bad chip opinions.
Nah, but she has the passion for chips.
Yeah.
See, that's like my favorite.
Pringles are good.
I can respect.
Pringles are good.
I can respect an incorrect choice if you're passionate about it.
Yeah, Sarah and I have a share kinship of
Alex, when you
potato chip enthusiasm.
So Alex, I have a question for you. When you eat chips, do you look at the chip to see which side has more powder, and then put that side down on your tongue?
For Pringles.
No, not for Pringles. Obviously.
Well, Pringles, there's a wrong way to eat it. There's objectively a wrong.
But
way.
I'm talking about like any chip.
No, other chips I just chomp them.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Pringles the only one.
Yeah.
Don't even talk.
Okay, Alex,
Don't...
we're normal. Someone and my best friend. And I'm talking about Elizabeth.
I can't even.
You guys were like, oh yeah, we look and we examine the chips.
I can't even see it on like potato chips.
Yeah.
No. I don't do it with all potato chips.
You were like,
only ones with colored seasoning. So cheddar and sour cream Ruffles have a very distinct orange seasoning, right?
But it gets on your tongue anyway.
No. Don't even talk to me right now.
Okay, but the
Are
other
you fucking
chips,
kidding?
The other chips are still flavored the same way.
Shut the hell
right?
up.
You
no,
just can't see it.
Idiot. Shut up.
What if you're eating a handful of chips?
I don't eat it.
You eat one at a time?
I eat one chip at a time to savor
and
each
you examine
chip.
it for a full minute.
You
calculate the best side.
You chip.
Place it on your tongue.
You chip
optimally.
plebeians. You disgust me. Okay.
And then you.
Shut the hell up.
I'm
gonna describe to you.
That salt.
Sweetness.
That ripple.
That's a 10.
That's a 10.
So I love chips.
Tell us your chip eating
Shut the hell
method.
up. I love.
Okay, be nice.
I love chips. No more Mr.
Call him
Nice.
out for being a fucking chip weirdo. Tell him like it is.
No more Mr.
Nobody
Nice Guy
does this.
here. That's not true. Her friend does it, and she and I, people who do this, completely agree. So
comment if
there's
you
gonna
do
be
this.
some comment fights.
I eat every unless it's like the broken. You know, at the bottom like a bag, there's like a bunch of broken.
No, you
Oh yeah, a
Shards.
bunch of crumbs and shit.
No,
do you
then
still do it for those? Like
No,
you take the
no.
little tiny crumble of a chip and you bring it. You be
Put
like
under a microscope.
a little diamond inspector's eye thing and look for the dust
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
like a jeweler's eyelid or whatever.
You know-
This side has more dust than the other, and it shall go on my tongue face down.
The thing is, a jeweler's eye would only make it harder. You're only looking at like one tiny part of the chip. So anyway, no, not crumbles. Crumbles, you can eat.
Crumbles, you just chomp.
You just eat crumbles. You just eat crumbles.
There's also no decent way to eat crumbles. You just shovel that shit.
Honestly,
in
if
your
you guys aren't taking each crumble and like covering your entire tongue in
Oh, yeah.
crumbles,
Okay,
and
let
then
me ask you
eating it,
this: how do you eat your crumbles?
I pour them out the
mouth.
bag
Yeah,
in my
if I
mouth.
have the opportunity,
You pour them straight into your mouth.
If the bag
there's
is
not that
torn,
many.
if the bag is torn in a way that I can just let gravity do the work for me, I will do that. I will
Yeah.
tip it. But if it's like torn in a weird way, I just grab those fuckers.
So you just
and
grab
feed
them. Yeah.
See, what I do is the pour. I take my hand out and I'll
God,
pour
here
the
we go.
chips.
Oh no, I pour them
Oh,
directly
okay.
into my mouth.
No, I pour them into my hand. I shove them in my mouth. I don't pour them
You
directly
weigh
into
them
my
out
mouth.
to exactly 2
Yeah,
ounces.
to the chip standard, which is 2 ounces. It has to be 2 ounces.
Get your microscope ready.
Get your tiny little.
And your
Anyways,
jeweler's eye.
friends who I'm not going to be friends with, let me explain this. Every chip with colored
Is
powder,
special.
it is special. Oh, I love chips, especially now that I have to not have to, but I like count calories or whatever. It's like you can only have a certain number of chips. It's not like when I was a kid. It was like I'm gonna eat the whole bag. I'm gonna eat a whole family-sized bag in one
But
sitting.
one point I do want to make, since you say only the colored powder is the one that you look at, other kinds of chips are probably powdered the same way, and
So,
you're just missing out on that.
let me explain.
Okay, explain
Okay.
your method.
So sour cream and onion chips still have a powder.
Yeah.
It's like a white powder.
yeah.
I'm not talking about like original chips. That's just salt.
Well,
Salt is salt.
Yeah, like blank chips have nothing on
Yeah,
them.
salt is salt. But if it has a powder on it, I examine the. It doesn't take long. You're acting like I'm like Oh, let me ponder
Next
this.
time you eat chips, I'm gonna pay some.
I
close
don't
attention.
even do it like I just naturally.
If I see you with a fucking calculator when you eat a bag of chips, I swear to God.
like it's very it takes like less than a second. You just look at the chip.
The thing is, unless it's Pringles, I usually eat them by like a bunch at a time. Like I'm just.
Oh.
I don't eat a bunch at a time. I might eat
Not
two
a
at a
bunch,
time if
like
they're
a
small.
couple or a few.
I
You
eat,
got
like-
like a big handful.
I
or
usually eat
anything
one
like
at a
that.
time,
Disgust me.
but I don't put it under a microscope to see which side has more powder.
I don't put it under a microscope. It makes a difference because there's more flavor powder on that side. So it's listen. It's
all in your mouth. It's all
no,
touch your tongue.
You're absolutely wrong. The side with the most flavor powder, when it hits your tongue, it gets all that right away.
It hits the taste buds on your hard palate, so either way, you're gonna get it.
No, it makes a difference.
Not even gonna entertain that.
No, not at all. I know this. And
No, you don't. It's like
it was
totally a mental thing.
No, it's not. It's
okay. Are you putting it on your tongue and like letting it sit there to absorb the
Do you
flavor,
dissolve the
or are you
powder?
putting it in your mouth face down? Because if you're just doing that and then chewing it immediately, it doesn't matter.
Do you do chips like acid, like you just set it on
and
your
it just
tongue?
dissolves. It just dissolves
And
in the
just
potato.
get that potato high.
juice. Yeah.
Do you just like lick off all the powder
I
and
do.
then eat the blank chip?
Do you leave the chips in the bag after you've removed
I do
the
get a
powder
potato.
from them?
I'm gonna text Elizabeth later and be like, "These idiots don't understand
God.
anything." So anyway, I'm gonna get on the Pringles thing in a second, but
Pringles
Well,
is like
we
a
all
whole
conceded
different
that
equation.
you eat Pringles. Because you do
What?
just put
Well,
those on
Pringles
your
are
tongue.
very visible where that powder is. So
so it
you're-
matters which side
on
you put
Pringles,
it
it does.
on. Why does it not matter
Because
if
on
it's a
Pringles,
chip?
the other side has literally no powder.
Yeah, but if you're saying, "Oh, just put it in your mouth and you chew it,"
But
it
I
doesn't make a
don't-
difference.
I don't think they like do one side on normal
I
chips.
lick Pringles. I
No,
lick the
I'm
side
not
with the
s-
powder.
I'm not saying they don't do it on the other side. But listen, if there's a big old chip and there's like tons of powder on one side and none on
Yeah,
the
like
other
an
side,
inch of powder.
I
There-
actually put
listen.
the chip on the ground and I step on
cheddar
it.
cheddar and sour cream ruffles have like tons of orange powder sometimes on one side and none on the other side.
Okay, I will concede.
Why wouldn't you put the one with more powder on your tongue?
I will.
That's what I do.
Because you're not like resting it on your tongue.
But it makes a difference. It does because those ones do have more flavor because they are directly touching your tongue.
I want future chip makers to make all the powder like virtually invisible so that you can't.
I want them to put all the
If-
powder in
if
one
they-
spot on the chip. So it's just one concentrated hunk of powder. You know where it is. You know where to put it on your tongue.
If they did that, I probably wouldn't do it anymore. But because there's a visible component.
No,
because,
you get your microscope.
No, because I can see the powder. Just put it face. People who do this, you will agree with. You understand that these guys are idiots.
What they need to do is stamp their chips with a
Flavor
stamp
side.
that says there is no flavor on this side. Please do not put this on your tongue.
like
And put that on every chip.
If you're making fun of me for this, then you cannot eat Pringles a certain way.
No, well, Pringles
No,
are
fuck-
different.
that's fucking-
There is no powder
That's
on one side.
fucking
of-
bullshit. Because
Pringles are blank on one
your
side.
argument is that as long as you just chew it,
My
you'll
argument
get
is
all
that
the
other
flavor.
chips are made different from Pringles. They don't have a blank side.
Hey, shut up.
With
so,
Pringles,
with
Pringles,
that
I like.
side has more powder. So
Considerably more for Pringles, but there's not like a noticeable amount of powder on
some
one side of.
chips have more powder.
Well, that has not
on
been
one
my
side.
experience.
I'm gonna show you some.
Okay,
I'm gonna buy
I
a
don't
bag.
know what weird powder, half powder.
Have
chips
you
you're
had
eating.
cheese flavored chips? That orange shit.
What about Doritos? Those are like evenly coated.
Doritos don't give a shit. I mean, Doritos. No, that's not true. Sometimes Dorito does coat one side a little bit more, but Doritos, it's not as much. But some chips, it's like, hey, this side is almost blank. This side has tons of orange
Yeah,
powder
it's
on it.
Pringles.
No, I'm talking about regular potato chips.
It doesn't happen.
It does happen. You don't
Okay,
eat
sometimes
chips. You don't know
chips
anything.
do like one side doesn't have a lot of powder, but I still just like I don't really because I'm not resting it on my tongue. I'm just putting it in my mouth to eat it.
I will be man, I will be validated in the comments. People, if you eat
I think this is gonna cause a huge.
I know. I'm
shit
gonna make
show.
a
There's gonna
fucking.
be
I'm gonna
big
make a fucking.
fight.
I'm gonna make a fucking Twitter poll.
It's gonna be a big
and I'm
fight.
I
gonna-
already did make a Twitter poll on this.
about this. I don't think so, but it's happening. I'm gonna fucking do it, and I'm gonna rub it in your faces unless it backfires. But I'm
Then
pretty
you'll
sure.
delete it and pretend you delete the
Well,
podcast.
you need to make a caveat about Pringles because those are a different situation.
It does no. I
Yeah,
think,
they are.
No,
No, Pringles are
It
different.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it is because you with Pringles you're actually like licking the powder off before you eat it.
Yeah, because the powder has more
With other
flavor.
chips, you're not licking it before you eat
All right,
it.
we're getting nowhere with this. I'm just disgusted with you guys. I will be validated in the Twitter poll that is coming out tonight. Not for you guys.
Do you
but
meticulously observe your chip and lick off the powder?
But if you saw the poll and then
Yeah,
you listen to this podcast,
So
you'll...
you're completely twisting my words. What I do, take a chip, just put it on, put it in. It takes 1 second. It takes less.
rest
than
on
a
your
second.
tongue for 30 seconds
And I go.
and then
I'm legitimately steamed.
salt.
I'm
the
so
potato,
I'm so upset with you guys right now. This is just
the
unacceptable.
roll.
I will get my.
See, what I do is I close my eyes, reach in the bag, get a big handful, and just kind of put my mouth in
and
there.
some like spill out of my mouth. I don't even eat those ones.
Yeah, they fall on the
So
floor. I'll
at
leave
this
them
point,
there.
why aren't you just putting all the chips into like a coffee grinder and grinding them to
Yeah, I
dust
get like
and
a
then just
mortar
eating it by
and
the
And
spoonful?
snort it.
Yeah.
No, what?
And snort. Just get
No,
a
eat
hit.
it by the
There's many ways to
spoonful.
consume chips. Snorting is not recommended.
I will.
But
I will
you
be
can-
vindicated.
So if you're eating like a sandwich that has chips in it,
well, that's
are you making sure that the chips...
no. I mean, a sandwich is a sandwich. You know, I'm not. Yeah,
So when
Oh,
you
so
eat a
then it
sandwich,
doesn't
do you
matter
open
what
it
side
to,
you get
like,
the flavor
eat
on.
the meat side down?
I do consider that. When
No, I mean, do you take the bread off so that like
no,
you
no,
have
no,
the-
no.
Then
But
what the fuck?
But when I'm eating a sandwich, I do consider which side. Like I look at the ingredients and I go, which side has meat? I want that to be near the tongue. And that also makes a difference.
Usually the meat is on the bottom anyway, though.
Oh, well, why does it matter if you just chew it? If you just chew it, then it's not.
It
gonna
doesn't.
matter,
If the
right?
sandwich is more convenient to hold the other way, I'll do that.
No, I gotta have that meat closer to the tongue. The closer the meat is to the tongue, wow, that's suggestive.
I mean, it's padded by.
That is very suggestive.
It's padded by
The
bread.
closer the meat is to the tongue, the more tantalizing it is. Let's move on.
That's the takeaway from this whole
The
conversation.
salt, the potato.
You know what?
That
If I can
meat.
ever get Elizabeth on this podcast, I will have my revenge on both of you.
Okay,
Alright.
she's like, you're saying like everyone's gonna agree with it, but you only
So like
have
the
one
one,
person.
if the one and
No,
only
no, no. But
person
I need
on-
to have someone on my side. You
If
guys,
the one and only person on the planet you've ever met who does this freaky chip monstrosity thing that you do.
I'm gonna make this Twitter poll, and you're gonna be crushed.
Oh, okay. Oh boy, I can't wait to get. You're probably gonna word it in a
Yeah,
way
make
that
sure you
heavily
word it
favors-
completely unbiased.
This needs to
No.
be an
Okay,
impartial.
I'm gonna word it like this: when you eat potato chips, does it matter if you put the flavor powder side on your tongue or not? The side with more flavor, that or more flavor powder. I'm gonna word it like that.
See, I just worry
And
people are
it's
gonna think of Pringles.
No one's gonna think about Pringles. You dip it.
That's
you
the only time
dipshit.
I consider
It's just,
it.
No, just
Whatever.
potato chips. I'm not Pringle. I don't think of Pringles when I think of potato chips. I think of potato
yeah,
chips.
Pringles are kind of artificial.
Technically, they're not chips.
All right,
They're crisps.
let's get away from this hot topic. This is the
This is too heated. It's
This
too
is- this is
controversial.
like-
Are we?
It's
Do we even
tearing
have
us
time
apart.
left?
this is like politics for me. Like you know how you're not supposed to talk about politics.
Yeah.
This is me.
We
this is
can't
me
bring
with
up
chips.
potato. We need to learn our lesson here.
Do we have time left? How much?
Yes.
Why you didn't say anything?
I would end it if we didn't have time. Okay, so let's go on to what a normal day in your life is like.
Ooh.
This normal day.
Are we talking Sundays or work?
You know what? Let's do
I'm gonna do like a work.
let's do a weekday and then a weekend.
Okay.
Okay. I can go first.
Go for it.
Go first.
Go, please do.
Go for it.
It's Monday morning. Wake up, Anne Marie.
It's Monday morning. My alarm goes off at like 7. Sometimes I'm awake earlier.
Doesn't
Sometimes I'm awake way earlier if the cats decided to be annoying at 4 a.m.
Mm.
Anyway, so I get up. I usually go feed the cats right away. And then I either shower, or if I showered the night before, I don't shower. I usually like to shower the night before so I don't have to in the morning. Then I get dressed for work. And then I pack lunch or breakfast. If I'm not going to buy it that day, I buy it a lot at work just because I'm lazy with packing it. Or usually we don't have like leftovers. So, you know, I get ready for work and then I go to work. And then my work is like clerical / secretarial for the most part. So I'm working all day. I'm like answering emails or the phone or like helping people do stuff or arranging travel or events or whatever I'm doing that day. It's not very eventful.
Why are you being so vague? Is there like a secret about it that you're not telling?
No, it's just not, I just go to work
Okay.
until 5.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lunch break
No,
at
please
12.
expunge more deep.
If the weather's nice, I'll take a walk,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not been nice. I get off at 5 and I come home. What do we do when I come home? Sometimes you're streaming, so then I
Scream.
Scream.
scream. Then I scream really loud and I turn off your computer.
Streaming and screaming.
That's why I don't watch your streams. Actually,
It's
because
because it's
she
like
always starts
10 minutes in.
screaming
It's
at
just
one
like.
point. And I'm like, well, fuck, we're at the screaming part. It's like John. It's
John-
like listening to a
just
John
John Williams
Williams
movies,
piece,
Oh
you
my
know?
god. So I come home and usually I ask you if you ate or what you want to do for dinner. And sometimes you ate already because you don't like eating with
I'm
me.
fucking hungry.
Like, I guess 4 o'clock is when you need to eat dinner.
No, it's 5, but sometimes you come like late. I'm like, I'm hungry.
Well, sometimes I had to go to the post office or do something else. Anyway, I come home and I make dinner or eat dinner, or sometimes we order dinner. We eat dinner. Then we, it just depends.
What are typical things we usually do?
We watch anime or we play Marvel Legendary and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I'm just like, I'm just gonna like chill for a bit, and I'll just like use the computer. And I go to bed usually anytime, but
About 8 p.m.
No, anytime between like 10 and like 12, I'll go to bed.
12 is definitely stretching out on a weekend.
I'm usually.
It's like 9 to 11.
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's like 10 to
okay.
12.
Okay.
Time,
For some
fight,
reason, you just think that
time,
anything
fight,
before 4
time,
a.m. is
fight.
like so early.
Yeah.
So I don't go to bed before 10 unless I'm sick.
You've done it before, but anyway.
When I was sick.
No, you've done it even before that.
No.
I think we can move past the.
No, we're gonna keep.
Well,
we're
apparently-
gonna dwell on this.
I'm the one giving my account of my day, and you're like, actually, no, you do this. Like, no, I don't.
I'm just saying. All
so
right,
let me
go ahead.
please continue
Please,
my
go
account.
ahead. What else is after this?
I'm just thinking about other things I do in the evening. Sometimes I do draw. I end up doing that, but it's usually in a sketchbook, so I don't like post a lot because scanning stuff it looks really ugly. Anyway,
Scanning's tough.
It's
It's hard to maintain that quality.
Yeah. So sometimes we watch a movie. Sometimes we go out. We'll go out to see a movie or go out to eat or something.
Not lately because the weather's.
Well, yeah, the weather's been
but
shit.
When the
The weather
weather's
sucks here.
nicer, we'll go out more.
So basically my typical day. If it's a day that we record here, we come here and record.
Sure.
But a typical day is like I pretty much wake up, I go to work, I come home, and Sungwon and I will like hang out, or I'll do chores sometimes. Just depends on what I have to do. It's very uneventful. Yep.
Cool.
Am I supposed to do my weekend day now?
Is there any major difference in your leisurely activities, or is it?
I hang out with you guys.
Yeah, we've been
about
lately.
it.
We've been playing some Pandemic Legacy. That's been our
that's
typical,
been
our typical weekend.
I
activity.
over
either-
halfway through that year.
Yeah, it's scary shit.
I either hang out with you guys and we play board games, or sometimes we hang out with like another friend and we see movies or eat with him.
You have another friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we like him way better than you.
It's
Or
fine.
I'll hang out with my like Lolita friends and we'll like go out and hang out.
Oh yeah, you got your little.
We dress
your
up
calm.
and people annoy us. That's it.
That's what Lolita's all about.
Yeah, pretty
Getting
much.
dressed up and getting annoyed.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, what's your day?
So if it's a work day, I wake up about 8:40 and usually snooze a couple times and roll out around 9 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, 8:40. That sounds like a dream.
My work hours are pretty flexible because it's just like a software development thing. So there's not like any kind of client facing anything like that. So as long as we do the hours we're allotted, we're given a good amount of freedom for what we do. And then I drive over to work for about 8 hours until like 5 o'clock. There's nothing, like Anne-Marie, there's nothing particularly exciting about work. It's just kind of software, cubicles. Work is work. I do that for a good while. And then when I get home, like Anne-Marie said, if the weather's nice, I'll usually go jogging for about 40 to 50 minutes or so because I love jogging outside in the sun. But lately, it's been freezing cold and terrible, so I haven't really been doing that. And then in the evening, if I have any major projects I'm working on, I'll sometimes put some work into those. If there's like PB&T that needs to be edited, I'll get into that and like get some episodes ready. There's usually just like a lot of little things I have to set up for the channel, but it's not a whole lot of time usually. If I have any food I need to cook or anything, like I make a lot of chicken and stuff. If I don't have anything ready, sometimes I'll take some time to do that. And then, yeah, I'll either play a game or have like some tea or like a glass of wine or something I've been having lately. And then on weekends, pretty much the same stuff. Like we said, I usually go over there for Pandemic Legacy or whatever board games we want to play. We usually squeeze another one in there.
We usually play like 2 board games.
Yeah, we've for a while, we've had a routine of like board games on the weekend. We used to have to go to another place to do it. But
now I have so many.
You have so many now.
That's like my own personal library.
Right.
And then Sundays are just like the ultimate personal day for me. Like I have grown to love Sundays so much because like whatever chores I need to do around the house, like laundry, like cleaning stuff up, vacuuming, it's always done on Sundays. Usually I'll take Sundays to do editing stuff if those have built up because it's just a pleasant day to just kind of sit down and do some work.
Sundays are nice for like kind of relaxing before you start the work week.
Yeah,
again.
they're very chill.
I usually do a lot of chores on Sunday as well.
I've come to really appreciate I know there's something about just the Sunday mood. Like you wake up and it's just like, it's Sunday. It's time to like relax and like clean up a little bit and just kind of have a nice little day.
Yeah, I really like not doing anything on Sundays.
Yeah.
For me, I work at home now. I've been working at home for a while, so I wake up. First thing.
What time do you wake up?
10ish, 9, 10ish usually.
Oh, you think I'm lying about when I go to bed?
Like 10. It's usually around 10.
I
Why?
know. You wake up so late.
No, not anymore. I have 3 alarms now.
Oh, okay.
Because it got so bad that I was like
1 o'clock.
oh, I hate when that happened. That doesn't happen.
You hate when it's like 11.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I get up usually 9, 10.
I didn't know you still had all those alarms.
Oh yeah, I need them. So I have those. Oh, why am I talking about the alarm still? The first thing I do is I make sure my Love Live LP is not full, and
very important.
It is, my friend. Don't get me started on Love Live.
I was in that too until I had to get a job, and then like I
Yeah.
couldn't. Like, it's a problem with that game if you cannot.
I mean,
Like,
you can still play it. You don't have to use your LP.
The LP would bother me though.
I guess.
I don't
Anyway,
know, like
I do that. Then I go to my computer, answer any emails. Usually I have a lot of emails, and I'll usually go through that. So let's say I don't have any meetings or voiceover sessions or anything that day. Then it's just Oh, I will watch the Press Buttons and Talk episode, because it's like 15 minutes. That's usually what I do like after I've showered to like let my hair dry, and then honestly from then, if it's a Monday, I work on a skit and edit. Otherwise, I'm just shooting videos and editing pretty much all day. Editing takes up most of that time. Well, that's not some. Yeah, actually, it takes up most of the time. And also, I usually have to answer. Like, I usually get a lot of emails for a lot of different things, no matter what. So that actually takes up about a bunch of time too.
People are surprised. People would be surprised if they knew like how much time just answering emails takes.
For me, especially because it's like all different kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well, same for me because I'm like I said, I'm like clerical, so I like kind of talk to everybody in like the department where I work. Like if they, and I kind of like help organize a lot of things.
Right.
And it's like if I like, oh my God, especially if I was like out the day before, if I was on vacation and I come back, it's like that whole day and a half could be just like going through emails.
Sure.
It's
Oh my God.
crazy.
If I have voiceover stuff, like I do that before I shower, because usually if it's like particularly heated, I'll sweat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no point in doing it after I shower. So usually I'll get that out of the way, then I'll shower, and then I'll work on shit. Because my schedule right now is at this point almost every day, and so keeping that up is doing that on top of doing other stuff. It takes up pretty.
So what
much.
do you do after you're done?
Then it's just pretty much what you said. Oh, well, actually, that's not
You
true
stream
because you go to
sometimes.
sleep at like 8. So usually, what I'll do, I do stream around maybe 4 to 5, if I feel like it. Then after we've hung out and she does whatever, that for me is like, I can just do whatever I want. That's like I enjoy the late night a lot because I can kind of just watch shit or play shit or just kind of do whatever, usually till pretty late. And I like late night time. It's very.
Oh yeah, it's a very mellow sort.
It's
of.
a very mellow. Yeah, that's
For
right.
a while, I was doing like an early morning schedule. Like the first attempt I made at like a major game dev project, there were a few weeks where I was waking up at like 5 or 6 in the morning and trying to like do my work time during that.
Sure.
And it was actually really nice when I was into it.
Yeah.
Like they were pretty productive few hours before work, and then the first thing you do when you wake up is something you're actually looking forward to and not work.
Sure. Yeah, that's something I'll probably never do, but I do think I do think it's a cool idea.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that sometimes our friends like to Skype, and that usually goes like way into the late hours of the night, so that
Honestly,
throws off any kind of schedule.
if we ever do like a big group Skype, I'm like, I might be up to like 4.
Oh, yeah.
You're up till 4
those-
anyway.
That's true recently, but that we've done like 5 before.
Yeah,
Like,
those just like go
If it-
indefinitely.
What the latest Skype I was ever in was 6.
was that recent?
No, that was way back
Okay,
in the
yeah,
day. That was when I was able to stay up till 6. Like
6
in
for
college.
me is like that's like
6 too much.
that's too much.
And that-
5
it
is
was
like
it was like one time I could not. I was like, what the hell?
5 is
Yeah.
like go to fucking bed right now.
I feel like it always reaches a point where everybody in the room is thinking like, maybe I should be the one to cut this off because this is gonna keep going. But I also don't really want to stop Skyping, so
That's the thing. It's fun.
yeah.
That's something that
Good
man,
friendships.
yeah. Well, that's
So those
good
are our
friends.
fun days.
Those are our fun.
Those are our
Oh, what do you
fun-
do on the
Are we
weekend?
gonna? Oh yeah, what's
You
your
hang out
weekend?
with us?
Play board games?
Play board
You ever
games.
play Pandemic Legacy?
What's that?
It's a board game. It's actually, if you don't know what it
You
is,
stream
it's got
sometimes.
continuity. It's really cool.
On the weekend? Yeah, I do.
If I'm not doing it.
And me, I'm very. I'm usually if Anne Marie like doesn't want to do anything with me because she doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Then I will. I have a lot of stuff. I usually like. I'm a big media consuming guy. I want to watch movies and shows and play games. So I'm trying to like. Basically, after 5 is when I'm doing that shit. I think if you're gonna be self-employed and work at home, you have to be like before whatever time is work time. You have to set that as your time slot. Because if you let yourself just be, I'll just
Keep working.
I'll just play video games during the day and then maybe do some work. You'll never.
No, you gotta.
It won't work.
I imagine you would have to set some kind of
Yeah.
strict routine.
So and it makes it more fun because then it's like, oh hey, 5 o'clock, and it works with her because she comes home
Right.
at that time. Then it's like, yeah, I can do whatever I want, guilt free. So that's what I usually do. I would advise that also with creative stuff. Like, hey, if you want to do creative shit, do the creative shit first and reward yourself with video games or whatever it is afterwards. And then you won't feel like, oh, I should be doing something else. It's like, you did that shit already.
Yeah.
You did it, now you can play your video game or watch your porn or whatever it is you want to do.
Oh.
Don't judge. Anyway, that'll be it for this episode. Yeah. I'm going to make that Twitter poll. And
Oh my
And
God!
we're
All
gonna
right.
win.
and I'm going to do it right now.
We're
All right.
gonna win.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
You can see
Bye,
that Twitter
guys.
poll on my Twitter probably a couple
Someday.
a couple days later.
It is in the past.
You'll see it in the
now.
past.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Gaga. Bye, Gaga.
What does Ganga mean? Like, what is?
I know. Aren't Gungans from Star Wars?
I don't think that's what it is.
I don't.
I don't think that's what it is, but